Hey, what's up, guys? Your boy Skills here. Today I will be doing a Fixer in-depth video. So, as we all know, Fixer's a new character. He's been out for about a few weeks and he's received a few nerfs. So this is a Fixer in-depth guide post-nerf. So, as you guys may not know, the Warrant got nerfed, the tire got nerfed. So we are going to take a look at all that, and we're going to compare it to any and all similar weapons that come with. And we're going to look at his gadgets and his perks, and we're going to get into it, guys.
You agreed to this. No turning back now.
So I have all the numbers in front of me. I'm just going to show you guys in real time how it looks. So the Warrant, let's start with this, the sidearm. Warrant is a nice little pistol. It shoots really fast if you guys look. Like, this thing can clock people. I like it personally, spamming. When you're coming around a corner and someone's really close to you, you can spam it. Really good. Now, this is really good in some maps where you know someone's around the corner. You can compete really well with SMGs with this Warrant. Now, of course, you can't be doing it like it's a little too far for that range. But if you're turning a corner, let's pretend this little wall's a corner. You can light someone up, hip fire, pretty easy. Now let's get into the damage ranges and the damage itself. So, the first damage base that you're going to get with the Warrant is 20 damage to the body, 30 damage to the head. This is from 0 to 12 meters. This is the point. So this is like 11 and a half. This is like 12 and a half. The second damage base that you're going to get is 16 and 24. This is between 12 and 20 meters. So this is the furthest you can get to get that 16, 24. Move back a little bit. You're getting that 11, 17. I'm going to document this all in a panel for you guys. In a pane, you guys will see. And the third damage range, of course, is past 20 meters. 11 and 17, if you guys didn't see. 11, 17. Now, this gun spams really well, if you guys didn't see that. The thing is, like, you're not going to be able to compete with assault rifles and maybe SMGs. But assault rifles at this range, no. Like, you see how slow it is? And the damage base? Like, you want to be inside 20 meters when you're challenging someone. To have a reasonable chance. And if you want to, make your chance even better, you want to be inside 12. Because it's a whole lot of shots to shoot to kill someone like this even. You know what I mean? So, moving on. If you were to
spend them Benjis, that's what they're there for.
Buy the second pistol upgrade for the Fixer, for the Warrant, then everything changes. Our damages are the same all across, but now instead of 12 meters, which is here, we go to 14. So we extend out just a little bit more, as you can see. Our second damage range will extend to 22 meters. So instead of being here, get a little extension, which helps. The Fixer's secondary weapon, the Warrant, is one gun I always, when I play him, I always have to upgrade it because of how reliable it is. And you're going to find yourself, if you're not, in that sniper range or able to take out your sniper, you're going to want to kind of get in their face and, like I said before, spam this gun. The third damage range is, of course, 22 meters plus, 11 and 17 to the head. Moving on, let's move on to the big bad boy that we want to talk about, the tire.
Spend them Benjis, that's what they're there for.
This is a gun that has received a lot of criticisms because of how nice it is. Nice is and can be substituted with broken. So, the damage range, if you guys didn't know, with the tire base, not fully upgraded, is 60 damage with 125 headshot. So you'll see here, we'll do 60, we'll do 125. Whoops. 25. There you go. That's the 125 headshot. So that should kill someone perfect with armor. So there's no denying that. Now, this actually drops off at 51 meters, if you guys didn't know. So this is 50 meters. At 51, which is that spot, we drop off a little bit. 59. Move back another meter. 58. Move back another one. 57, and so forth. The only way to combat that is by buying the third upgrade.
Yeah, this'll work.
Which here reduces reload speed and nullifies damage fall off. So now you can shoot from all the way in Narnia, and you're still doing 60 damage. So that's just something to keep in mind for you guys, if you guys were wondering about the tire. Now, like I said, this was nerfed. So this used to do 70 base damage with the same exact damage fall off. So the nerf basically took the damage down 10. Everything else remained the same. Let's move into the other DMR that really hasn't been seeing a lot of playtime, especially when you're playing Fixer. The D3DI.
Perfect, that's the one.
So the stats for this, it's an okay DMR. I'll show you guys in a sec. The numbers here, we have from 0 to 34 meters is our first damage base. It's a DMR, of course. It's got to shoot. So that's 31, 32, 33, 34. This is our first damage range. And we should be getting numbers in the realm of 36 damage body, 54 to the head. Which is, you know, hits to the head solid. Second damage range is, of course, from 34 meters to 44 meters. 32, 48. And the long range, which if you can get to 48, this is 50 right here. 26 and 38. Now that's, again, when it's not fully upgraded. But the thing about this gun as well, the ranges are excellent, as you can see. Like, you're within 50 meters, you're still hitting them pretty hard. And in that second bracket, the 34 to 44 meter, you can do a lot. But the unfortunate thing about this gun is that if you look here, there's nothing to extend your damage range. So if I have to compare this to the tire, I'm taking the tire every day of the week. Not to mention,
Them Benjis, that's what they
I know a lot of people like the MXR. This, compared to the MXR, let's just pull up the statistics here. Compared to the MXR has a smaller damage range, for example. The first base, like I said, for the D3D is 34 meters, which was here. It's 27 for the MXR. The second damage range for the MXR is 27 to 37. Compared to this, like I said, it is 34 to 44. So there's a little bit of overlap there. And then, of course, after 37 meters for the MXR versus after 44 meters here, which you could shoot from downtown and be okay. The problem is the rate of fire. And you're going to see that come up with this gun a lot. And that's why I would prefer the MXR over this D3DI. Let's look how fast we can spam this. Now, don't get me wrong. It is very accurate. If you look at that. Extremely accurate. I'm not even waiting for the gun to recenter. Extremely accurate. But if we were to switch, let's switch to, say, trench. You guys will see what I mean. Because that MXR is one bad boy. Not to mention, when you level up the MXR, the damage ranges are pretty much the same as the D3DI. As you'll see here, you have that damage range availability.
Good choice.
But aside that, just look at the fire rate. It's not as accurate, but watch. Just a little bit of, like, as you can see, I'm everywhere. But if I were to try to recoil control this, I can concentrate that into it. And that this is from, we're talking a very far distance away, you know? So if I were to do that, you can tell the difference. It's so much easier to then recoil control it. And if you're spamming an enemy, guys, with the MXR, I know we're not talking about the MXR really, but look how fast I can melt on it. Much faster. Now, of course, it's more headshot dependent than, say, the D3D, the MXR itself.
Don't get cocky.
You can come around corners and start spamming enemies, versus if I were playing the Fixer using his DMR. So that's one of the reasons why I think the D3DI just gets severely outclassed when we're talking about, like, you know, the D3DI versus the tire.
Don't take it personally.
If I were to shoot enemies, do you see that noticeable, like, there's a pause? The fire rate is so much slower. It hits harder, don't get me wrong, but like, there's a considerable amount of time you're waiting. And that's enough time for someone with a better gun, an assault rifle maybe, to gun you down. Of course, if this is the case, you're a DMR, you're expected to have that kind of a fire rate. You're gonna wanna play your angles better. And of course, you get the headshots to your advantage, but close range is definitely not your forte. I would actually prefer close range to tire, because you can take corners and immediately peek and double tap them. But I digress. So let's talk about the gadgets now. The gadgets, he has the cluster smoke, which is brand new, along with the C4.
Ooh,
So I've had multiple testing results with the cluster smoke, but to talk about basically what I've gotten, let's take a look at the cluster smoke. I've seen that it lasts about 9 to 10 seconds, right?
Utility out.
And we'll gauge the range on the fly right here. So it's about there to about, we'll call it here, and we'll count it. But from my testing, I was getting anywhere from the smoke length horizontally being 10 to 13 meters. Of course, 13 is when you upgrade it. I'll show you guys that in a second. But this should be around 10. And the vertical and depth should be around 5 meters itself. But let's count this just for the sake of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, about 10. So that's right for this one. And then if I were to fully upgrade that smoke, which increases, like you see, the number of clusters to 3 and the duration. The duration goes up, for my testing, only about a second, from 9 seconds to 10 seconds. But of course, the horizontal and vertical smoke definitely changes. So you'll see here, let's do another test on the fly. We'll call it right here in the middle. And here we can call it, I guess, in the middle here too. So we're counting halfsies. So let's start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And I would say 12 because that's about a half and a half, even though this is more than a half. We'll call it 12 and a half, kind of. And it's in that range. So like I said, I was getting mixed between, but it looks like it maxes out at 13 from what I've seen through testing. Of course, it's independent testing. And the vertical depth, which means if I were to throw a smoke here and look at it this, if I were to throw a smoke the same direction from this way and look at it this way, it would be about 8.5 fully upgraded and 5 normally. Now C4, of course, the throw distance has been nerfed before.
That's what they're there for.
You can throw up to, looks like 10 meters here, I believe. Or, I take that back, 13. You can throw up to 13 meters throw distance. If you were to upgrade it, of course,
Perfect, that's the one.
you can throw, I think it's 16. Yeah, 16 meters. Now, this is just a C4 tip. The radius is 4 meters. Anywhere over 4, you're not going to get the kill. So right here, he's on the 10. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4. If we throw it right here, he's taking damage. If I throw it a teeny bit out, he should take damage. So that's 4. Let's go like 4.5.
Lethal out.
I don't think he takes damage here. Or he does. I take that back. See, so there's a little bit of irregularity, as you guys can see, from my testing. I'd say reliably, 4 meters is where you want to get. Of course, this increases the damage radius. So that, I'm sorry, it increases the overall damage. So that could have to do with it as well. I'd have to go further in depth. I'll do a video on gadgets themselves. But that's it for the gadgets. Personally, I'm using the smoke. There's no reason to not use the smoke, as much as I love C4s, when you have his ability to just infrared everyone. And, you know, it's useful. My biggest mistake that you'll see in the gameplay that I throw out with this is that I'll throw my smoke down and I'll imagine that everything is smoked. So I'll run in like a madman, like a chicken with his head chopped off, and I'll get killed by someone maybe over there because I threw my smoke here.
Move it.
But then I move out of that radius, and I'm here trying to kill this guy, and the other guy crossfires me. So keep that in mind. There's no way, unfortunately, to see the smoke when you're in infrared at all. So I don't know if that's something that the devs would want to change, or if that's as intended. But I do find myself personally running past my smoke and getting dinged for it and paying the price. So now let's talk about the Fixer's perks. Now, of course, I have a perk guide coming out in the next few weeks in which I'll go in depth on all these perks and give you guys my thoughts and opinions and how I would personally rank each perk. But as for the Fixer's perks, to start with his $4,000 perks, he has Shredder Rounds and Berserker. Now, you guys will see then, I'm not too big a fan of Shredder Rounds. In fact, I hardly ever buy them. And when I do, it's basically because I've been carrying or have done so much in the game to where I have money to blow and nowhere to spend it. I think the ability to deal more damage to equipment and carry more ammo really does not do much. And of course, I could be wrong. By all means, if you guys have opposing opinions, let me know in the comments. I see just the ability to do that not that essential, unless you're trying to bulldoze through an anvil shield, in which case I don't think one person should be doing it anyway. It should be more of a team effort, especially in case they're trying to use the shield to bait you and whatnot. But I digress. Like I said, the second perk in the $4,000 column is Berserker. This is a perk that I feel is one of the most underrated perks in the entire game, and especially for a $4,000 perk. And compound that with the Fixer's main gun, the sniper, the tire, which only has a max 2-round mag. This is going to be something that's going to help you a lot, because you're going to be reloading a hell of a lot with that gun, and just the ability to rotate, change your angles, and reload at the same time is definitely something not to overlook. Definitely one of my favorite perks when I'm playing other rogues like Ronin. She's a big one, and others. That perk is just amazing and really one of my favorite perks in the game. Now, for the $6,500 perks, we have, for the Fixer, Helping Hand and Bounce Back. Helping Hand is always an interesting perk because I personally play it by ear when it comes to that perk. If I'm playing someone like Saint, I'll most definitely take Helping Hand because your ability is all centered around rezzing. If I'm playing someone like Lancer, I'll consider it back and forth because of the nature of her character. She's a flanker, so your chance to res people is not going to be too much, but you might find yourself in those positions. And believe it or not, I've been heavily surprised by Lancers having that perk and rezzing them. As for Fixer, I could see it to a small degree because you're sitting in the back, technically, based on your character. You're a sniper, so you're gonna want to be sitting medium long range. So if by any chance one of your teammates does get picked, whether it is by another Fixer or a sniper or somebody who's playing back like a Saint or any of the other rogues with an MXR or any other kind of DMR, you might want to consider taking Helping Hand. But personally, it wouldn't be something that I would aim to take in the first few rounds of, say, a Demolition game. I'll get into that in a sec of what I would rank getting what and when for the Fixer. But it wouldn't be at the top of my list, but it's definitely higher than, say, Shredder Rounds. His next $6,500 perk is Bounce Back, which is you reduce your health regen delay. Now, it's tough to test how long exactly you reduce that generation delay. Definitely something I'd like to test, and if I do, I'll definitely leave a little annotation in the video. But this is one of my primary perks that I would consider taking for a character like the Fixer or any character that has this perk for that matter. It is such a key perk because it just enables you to peek more, basically. And for such a peek-esque character like the Fixer, this is definitely something I'm going to be looking at personally as one of my first 2 perks, I would say, to purchase in a demo game. Finally, the Fixer's $10,000 perks. These are Life Drain and Headstrong. Now, Life Drain is one of my favorite $10,000 perks. No matter who I'm playing, it is definitely something I look to the top of what I'm going to take because honestly, being able to play fast, down someone, and get health from them by downing them is something that I love because it promotes that fast-paced gameplay, but it also just heals you. So if another teammate decides to jump you, then you at least have a little bit of HP to have a chance in that second fight. So definitely a perk I'm looking at, and normally this is a perk after I get my main gun I'm looking to buy. This would be my top tier perk to purchase under any and all circumstances if a character has this. The next perk the Fixer has is Headstrong. Now, Headstrong got a big change a few patches ago. In case you guys don't already know, now you can actually repair your armor. And in this gameplay, in this round actually, funny enough, you'll see me repair my armor. Now, of course, it takes a few seconds, as it should. It shouldn't regen like health. It should be something that you have to repair. Very good change. But this changes the entire dynamic of the perk. The perk went from being almost somewhat useless, because it's a one-time use and you can get chipped off, to actually a really, really good perk. And for Fixer, it's a big game changer. But if I had to rank these two perks, whether it's the ability to have an additional 25 armor or life drain, I would probably take the life drain, but here's the big caveat. You're going to be playing back as the Fixer, whether you use the tire or the D3DI, which is the DMR. Whether you use either of those guns, you will be playing back. So, in the spirit of that, life drain isn't as, dare I say, necessary as it may seem like for a character like the Fixer. The reason why I say that, like I said, is because you're going to be playing back. There's very small chance you're going to be jumped by two people. You might get double peaked, which even in that case, if you get double peaked, you'd have to down someone to get health, versus Headstrong, you're getting that 25 armor off the jump. So if you get double peaked, you don't have to even get a kill or a down. You'll just get the armor with the ability to regen it back. So interesting $10,000 perks here. If I had to rank these two, I would take Headstrong, actually, believe it or not, first before Life Drain. Just for the sheer fact that you're going to be playing back, and just to be able to hold a little bit of health definitely is going to play a part in keeping you strong as a threat, and at the same time keeping you alive. So again, if I had to rank all these perks that the Fixer has straight off the deal, if I'm playing the Demolition game, number one, I'm going to have to say we're going to go for Headstrong. Now, this is, of course, after I get my gun. My number one priority when I play Demolition is to get my gadget first. Round one, you start with 5,000. I get my gadget. That's 4,000 down. So you have 1,000. Normally, you have to do a little bit of damage or get a down to be able to buy your gun in the next round. That's my next priority. Get my gun second round. If I have a little bit of extra money, normally you won't get enough to buy a $6,500 perk. But if I do, I would end up getting the bounce back. Bounce back, again, very key. It will help you peak more. And if I don't, and I only have enough for Berserker, I would definitely buy Berserker after on that second round. But, and this is the big but, if I'm in a position where I can buy any of these perks at once, but I can only buy one or a combination of two, say I have $10,500, then I will probably buy Headstrong first, and then wait until the next round, then buy more perks and upgrade my guns as they come. Perks are so important in this game, and for a character like the Fixer, his primary is super strong, and if you use it right, and if you play your ranges properly, he can be definitely a big threat, and his perks will only make him stronger. So to simplify, if I had to rank all these 6 perks for the Fixer in the order of which I'm going to get them, number 1 would be Headstrong. Number 2 would be Bounce Back. Number 3 would be Berserker. Then I would play it by the situation at hand. Everything else is played by ear. I play these perks that I mentioned as well by ear, depending on the situation as well. Say I don't have enough to buy that Headstrong perk, but I do have enough to buy Bounce Back, then I'll buy the Bounce Back first, and then after the next round I'll bank on buying Headstrong. Or if I only have enough to buy Berserker, I'll buy Berserker, and then I'll be looking to buy Headstrong next round. Of course, the top 3 in my head are always going to be for Fixer: Headstrong, Bounce Back, and Berserker. The rest of the perks have their own ups and downs, of course, but these are not the perks that I would consider the best for the Fixer and the playstyle that he brings. Shred-arounds, no matter what character, I don't see a use for that. Somebody, if in the comments, please prove me wrong if you see something with any character, not just the Fixer. I just don't see that perk doing much. Helping Hand is actually useful if someone around you is going down, because normally Fixer's going to be playing the back line. He's not going to be playing front line, rushing around. He's going to be playing more mid-long range. So if you have guys around you going down and you have a little bit of space between you and the enemy, Helping Hand could help you get that res off and turn the tide in the battlefield. But of course, that's all dependent on if you have the other perks that I mentioned before, if you have extra money, if you have guys going down. Like, there's a lot of interesting caveats and things to consider before getting Helping Hand. And Life Drain is the same thing. Normally, you don't get 2 10k perks, so that's why I leave Life Drain off. And for most other characters, Life Drain is my number 1. But given the fact that the Fixer brings about his playstyle with the sniper, I would say Life Drain would have to go instead of Headstrong. Headstrong is just, it's so much better and easier knowing you're peaking with a full 125 HP than at most peaking with 100 and only getting some back if you get it down. It's just a different mindset, and it's a different playstyle that begets it. If I was playing, say, Lancer, we're going 100% for the Life Drain. But that's just how it really is for me. Let me know you guys' thoughts in the comment section below. And guys, that wraps up Fixer in depth. I really hope you guys enjoy my final thoughts on Fixer. He's an amazing rogue. I would rank him in the top few rogues. When he came out, he seemed extremely oppressive. He was really good. This nerf puts him in line. It didn't kill him, guys. Definitely keep playing him. He's a good rogue. Does his job, in my opinion, still better than Phantom does hers. So they might want to make a little bit more adjustments, but you have to figure at some time how much is too much. So he's in this funky space, and I feel like that's only because his sniper can 2-tap. So we got to figure out, or the devs got to figure out how they want to play this. I don't see too much of a problem, especially since he has a 2-round clip. And he's still a little weak close range. Of course, stronger than Phantom is, but it's a different character. Definitely worth a try to play. But guys, that's it. Let me know what rogue you want to see next. I was thinking I can do the classic rogues, people's fan favorites such as Ronin, Dima, Saint. But what do you guys want to see next? I wanted to do Ronin because Ronin's my favorite. But if you guys have a favorite, just let me know in the comment section below. I'll go in depth again like I did here. And yeah, guys, this video took a long time, so I really hope you guys enjoy it. Send me your critiques below. I will not hate you for it. This video was probably my longest video ever posted, and it really taught me a lot, and I had to self-teach myself about, you know, doing little crazy little edits with picture-in-picture and a whole bunch of other things that I'll get into sometime later. But yeah, I appreciate all your love, guys, all the support. Thanks for being patient. I'm going to try to get these out as efficiently but as good as possible. So let me know what you guys think, guys. Leave this video a like. I'd really appreciate it. And I really hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Take care.